Welcome to the Accumulation of Mass and Power, Episode 4. Today is a leg day. I did some Zercher rack pulls. Shout out to Kyrikos Grizzly and Rick the Stick, Eric Bugenhagen for getting me hip to the Zercher. I think I did Zerchers like for fun one time a year or so ago. And I was like, oh, these are cool, but I never really did them. But I wanted to do some rack pulls at below parallel, like a full squat, and just see what they're like, see how strong I was in it. I read that Zerchers are really good for just leg drive, leg strength. So I wanted to test it out and see what my numbers were around there, and I was surprised. I thought that I would be able to do a lot. I thought I'd be able to do a lot. But I was kind of humbled by them. You'll see later in the video. But today I kind of want to talk about my philosophy going into beginning to train for powerlifting. And I want to train right and not what's easiest. Because I'm speaking about form and technique. I always used to, when you see me pull a max deadlift, if you notice from the last video to later in this video, my toe angle, when I pull sumos, heavy sumos, I usually turn my toes out, right? Because that's the easiest position for me to pull from. But I don't think that's necessarily the most efficient or the most correct form. My basis of perfect sumo form, the person I think has perfect sumo is Steffi Cohn. She has just perfect form, right? And that's why she can pull. There's a lot of reasons she can pull ridiculous weights, but that's definitely one of them, and I think that's how you'll get the longevity is training to do things the right way instead of maybe the easiest way. My squat form, if I wanted to squat what felt the most natural or what felt the easiest, I would take a lot closer of a stance, and my right foot would be turned out more than my left foot. They'd be staggered, kind of like Klokov does it. Just because of the way my hips developed catching, I guess. But I don't think I've ran into some injuries and I've ran into some plateaus, and so today I was focusing on, all right, I want to get my toes dead straight forward. Louis Simmons said, if you're an athlete, right, when you're in that athletic position, your toes aren't pointed out, when you're in your ready position to field a ground ball, or when you're skating in hockey or whatever other sport you play, your toes aren't pointed out, your toes are pointed forward. So today I really wanted to work on perfecting my sumo form as well as getting stronger. So even though squatting with my toes almost straight forward and deadlifting with my toes straight forward is not the most natural feeling, or maybe the easiest, or maybe the strongest way for me to pull, I want to work on that and make it my easiest way and my strongest way, because I think that's the right way to do it. So that's what I was working on today. And really the knees over toes got to warm up, and the stretches I'm doing and all this stuff makes it possible for me to lift like that. Because if I didn't do it, if I didn't do all this stuff, I just wouldn't be able to. My hips get locked up. My hips are just locked up. I think most people's hips are just locked up a little bit. So doing these warm-ups and stuff like that really helps me open everything up and, have better mobility and range of motion. And, I feel like I'm ready to work on my technique better after doing this type of stuff. Working to lift correctly, not the easiest way. Because I think that's how I'll make the most progress. And that's how I'll be the strongest. If I want to one day I want to be up there against Jamal Brown or yanking heavy deadlifts at hybrid, I want to be taking records from Jamal Browner. And I'm nowhere, I'm like halfway there, which is a long, long ways away. But if one day I want to get there, if one day I want to be competing next to Jamal Browner, I think I got to do everything right, Again, maybe I don't have the perfect genetics to do it, but I feel like if I do every single thing right, if I do everything as perfectly as I can, maybe one day I can get there. I'll give myself the best chance of getting there at least. Yeah. This is a wicked, wicked stretch. Recommend anybody to try it. Like, it might look easy. It's not. It kills. It burns so bad up at the origin of your quads, the hip flexors. Wicked stretch. And these are another one. Like these, I feel like if I want to lift right, I got to get my hamstring insertions warmed up because they're kind of weak. They got some damage. And if I don't pump a bunch of blood in there to swell everything up, grease it up and protect it, I really just can't do things right. So this is a good one. And the reason I thought about this was I was talking to my buddy Ray K. Shout out Ray K47, because he was like, he's into lifting, and he's kind of doing what I did when I started, which is just going in there, lift some heavy weights, do some bodybuilding. He hasn't figured out what split he wants to do or what his goals are. He just doesn't know yet. And so I was talking to him about it, and I was like, the reason that I train like this, which is kind of a conjugate style, is because guys who train conjugate are brutally strong, and that's what I want to be. Strong man. I want to be like a strong man who can just, you put something in front of him, something heavy in front of him, they can pick it up or they can move it. Not just SBD, but also if you take a strong man and you're like, all right, SBD, they can SBD very heavy. That's what I want to do. Just be strong at everything. And that includes abs, unfortunately. I'm not a huge fan of doing abs, but it's important. I think it's important for your strength to do them. And also, I think everybody thinks that the sit-ups are just abs. It also works your hip flexors a lot. Gives me a good pump in my hip flexors, which gets me ready to sit down into my squat correctly. And the time has come. The Zercher rack pull. So I found a pin that was below parallel, and with no weight on the bar, I wasn't really going below parallel, but you'll see I'll get below parallel. And I've really never done Zerchers. I did them one time with my buddy at school, kind of for fun. I had threw a plate on there. Wasn't anything special, but I really like doing it like this. It was hard to get it off the pin. I kind of touch and go off the pins, and I really should have been dead stopping. So when I do these again, I'll do dead stop off the pins. But yeah, look at, I'm getting deep. That's that warm up. That's a extremely wide stance with my toes forward, and I'm getting very deep. I could not do that without that warm up. No chance. So 185. I was just doing 5. I didn't really know what I want. I didn't know if I wanted to work up to a single today or just do some reps or so I decided to do some reps. 185. I think I got 5 reps here. Getting pretty deep. It's hard. These are hard. I like these. I'm probably gonna do these for a week or two. I'm not sure yet though. We'll see. I need to take up for the squat soon, but I'm a little bit scared. Just because my squat's been bad ever since I got injured. I've had a little bit of fear of taking big squats. I hit my post-injury PR, the heaviest squat I've ever taken to depth is 410. In post-injury, I hit. You see my foot slip there. Floor is dirty. I had a bunch of dirt on my feet, you can see. So I got some Clorox and wiped off the floor and wiped off my feet. But since my leg injury, I've gotten a 380 squat, but it was terrible. I hit depth, but then I got stuck out of the hole. I bounced out of the hole, and I got stuck for 4 seconds. I didn't move an inch. I have no idea how I got it, but I did. I didn't drop it. I finished it. But since then, I've not taken a max effort squat, but I need to soon. And this is a max effort. 275 on the Zercher rack pull. So I back down to like 70%, which was like, I think I threw 190 on there, but I think 70% is a little bit less than 190. Or maybe it was 195, I can't remember. But did 5 reps here. And so front squats, I love front squats for warming up for my deadlift. These might even be better as Zerchers. And on to the chain. I don't use chains a lot for the deadlift. I use bands some, that's why I got masking tape on my deadlift bar. But I think chains are way, way better than bands. I think they hit better. Especially because with my deadlift, I usually stick like literally a millimeter off the floor. Like I get it off the floor and then bam, I just can't get it. So I like these. And I had 4 sets of chains total. I don't know how much they weigh. They total at least 60 pounds, maybe like 80. I'm not sure. I gotta weigh them someday to figure out because I'm gonna be using them. So I hit a couple doubles. I think that was the first double that I hit. Let's see, yeah. Oh no, this is 375 plus chains for a single. Held it. I like holding deadlifts, I don't know why. I held it for a minute. And then I just finished up with the good old reverse hyper. Nothing better. Love the reverse hyper. If you haven't used it, use it. You got to use it right though. It's actually kind of hard to use. If you use it wrong, it doesn't work. It might actually make your form worse. You got to not cheat and use your lower back. You really got to drive your hamstrings and glutes. But big fan of reverse hyper. Just pumped it out for 20 reps. Why not? I don't know. Apparently, you're supposed to go heavy on this, but I feel like my form just breaks down with these when I go heavy. Maybe if I once I start really getting into them again, I can go heavier. But right now, I just like taking the lightweight and letting it burn for 15, 20, 25 reps. And in this set here, I was trying to drive my feet apart at the top, which murders your abductors. Drive your heels together. That's a little trick to get this thing to work. But episode 4 in the books. See you soon for episode 5. Got upper body day. We got Buddy Mike coming back. Y'all are going to meet Buddy Mike, and it's going to be a good day. Peace.